Hey, welcome back to another Epidose of these crazy folks who just eat meat all the time, can't stop talking about the carnivore diet and how it's changed their lives. And of course, today is Easter. For most of us, it was Easter yesterday for some of us. And today we're going to talk about what we ate for Easter. We're going to eat a bunch of food in front of everybody and make a bunch of obnoxious noises while we do it because that's the trend. And we're going to talk about how our diet on Easter has changed, the things we miss, don't miss, the things that made us sick, perhaps, and go on from there. So since Joe Zumbo is farthest away from Easter, having had it yesterday because he lives on the other side of the planet, why don't you tell us a little bit about your Easter experience yesteryear?
Well, it was a very interesting Easter experience. It was also my son's birthday, so there was a lot of. Well, okay, so typically Easter for me is just meat. That's all I do. But yesterday, because it's lockdown and wanted to make it a very special occasion for my son, I decided to have my carnivore lunch, but then follow that by a bit of cake and a little bit of ice cream and some Easter eggs, just to make it feel a little bit special for my son. And
so were they Easter eggs, or were they Easter chocolate eggs, or the Easter candy eggs?
Easter chocolate eggs.
Okay.
So, and I haven't touched anything sweet for a very, very long time. And boy, did I pay for it. And I'm still paying for it.
What happened?
I was just bloated. I had this crazy pain just here from eating some candy, as you guys call it over there. A little bit tired. Didn't get any acid reflux, which I was very happy with. But very bloated. Very.
Did you get a headache?
Not really.
Good.
So I think, and I'm assuming because I'm so insulin sensitive, that my body's like gone, okay, let's just get this out of your system. So
did you get a sugar high?
Not really. Like I didn't have any sugar crashes either. Nothing.
Did you feel drunk?
Nah, not really. You know what it was for me? There was no craving for there was no cravings. It was more I just wanted to try a bit of everything. That's what it was. I was just curious to see what everything tasted like, and to be honest, it's nothing like having a steak for me. Like I have that bit of candy, and I'm like, oh God, this was yesterday, but if I have a steak, it's like, oh my God, how good is this? And I'm in heaven. And what is that?
Cheese?
Cheese?
God.
What the heck?
I guess that is cheese.
So
I think Tom's shooting his own video.
I know, right? He must be on a different video than us.
It's like the video within the video.
All right.
Subtext.
Yeah. So I've decided to fast. I'm only going to do a 16-hour fast because it is Easter Monday here, and just need to be a little bit more social with the family. So I hardly see them due to my work. And that's it. But, for the past couple of years, Easter has been just a barbecue for me, piece of meat. But growing up as a kid, it was trays of lasagna, trays of pasta. What is that, Tom? Bread. It's like bread to me.
It
Bread
does
with
look
Vegemite.
It looks
It's like
like
a piece of bread.
bacon.
That's bacon.
Bit of focaccia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did the sugar and stuff, did it taste like you remembered it? I mean, did you enjoy
Good
it?
question.
No.
No.
I didn't enjoy it. It almost made me sick while I was eating it.
How
Yeah.
about the ice cream? Was it any different with the ice cream?
I didn't enjoy it.
Really? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
What was
I
that?
didn't.
Crazy.
What was
What
that?
kind of ice cream did you have?
So a friend of mine owns a gelato shop here in Sydney, and he makes like real high end stuff. So I had it. We got a little bit of salted caramel,
Ooh.
lemon meringue,
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
and pavlova ice cream. So I
Yeah,
just
but
tried a bit of.
gelato, that means no dairy, right?
Oh, so that
Is that
pavlova
right?
Yeah.
was
That's
ice
good. That's
cream,
good
not a
dairy.
cake.
It does.
Gelato has
No, it
dairy.
was an ice cream.
Oh, it
It
does?
was an
Oh,
ice
Ice
okay.
cream.
cream
Yeah,
cake.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they add
sorbet is. Yeah, sorbet is no
Oh, sorbet. Okay.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
packed full of
I don't
sugar.
know the difference. Okay, got it.
But yeah, look, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. As I said, it's not like when I have that. So for lunch yesterday, I had ribeye and some beautiful Italian pork sausages with no shit in them. So like really good stuff from Norm. And it was like I ate that and I was like, oh wow, how good is this? Then you have the ice cream and the cake is like, oh God, what am I doing? But it made me very gassy as well. So I was ripping a few last night. My wife wasn't very happy. And but one thing I did notice, and I did mention to you guys, I was cramping up.
Yeah, your leg cramp.
I was getting cramps. So even today on my ride, it was only a 60K bike ride, which is just pretty much nothing. And I was cramping up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was wondering what pavlova was.
Yeah, me too.
Pavlova. So it's basically a meringue with cream on it and fruit. And
It's named after a ballerina.
Wait, meringue
Yeah.
like cheesecake?
No,
No.
meringue is
What's
egg white.
meringue?
Egg and
white,
sugar.
Okay.
Yep.
Egg
white
and sugar.
Yep.
Okay, got
Yep.
it.
Yeah. So
I forgot I was muted.
yeah.
Oh, were you talking? Okay.
I know.
So yeah, that was my Easter. Again, if it wasn't for my son's birthday, I probably would have just stuck to meat only. But because of all this social stuff that's going on, I just wanted to make it a little bit special for him as well. And it was excited. So I mean, still got to be a father at the end of the day. Although I'm a carnivore, I'm still a father. So I got to.
Did it really matter to him? Did it really matter to him that you ate it?
Yep.
Wow.
He loved it. He loved the fact that I ate his birthday cake because I never eat it.
Right.
So I mean, if there was so many people there
with your diabetes-inducing treats.
Yeah, he had ribeye for lunch. He said.
Oh,
for lunch, yeah. So yeah, I mean, as I
Tom,
said,
you were doing your own video. You missed it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work on this end. I'm just saying.
So if we had all his cousins over and my parents, my in-laws, it would have been different because he'd be playing with them and he wouldn't really notice. But the fact that it's just myself, my wife, and my son.
Good point.
We had cake. Cake, and he's like, "Oh my God, Dad's having a piece of cake!" Like he was so happy that I was having a piece of his birthday cake.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, again, carnivore through and through, but sometimes as a father, you got to do things, or as a parent, to make your kids happy.
Sure.
I agree.
It's good you shared your experience. Help other people navigate these social situations, especially when as bizarre as this one, we're stuck at home. And like you said, the cousins don't come over. The friends aren't there because we're quarantined.
Yep.
So, Joe, what's your strategy for detoxifying, I guess?
So I went on a bike ride today and just went on a little bit of a harder bike ride. So I burnt just over 2,000 calories. I'm fasting as well. So I'm only doing a 16-hour fast. Again, it's Easter Monday here. So I don't get to spend much time with my family because of work. So I'll fast, back on the meat and, and then ramp it up during the week, to maybe at the end of the week, I'll do a 36-hour fast. But I think the fact that I've been so strict with how I eat for quite a while now and being so insulin sensitive, I think that's what saved me from what could potentially have been a pretty brutal outcome.
That makes sense.
So how about you, Raymond? What was Easter dinner like? And you know what, Joe? What was Easter dinner? I mean, was Easter dinner much different when you were pre-carnivore, or was you know, your son's birthday always kind of falls on Easter, so you know, it's pretty much the same every year, or what?
Well, growing up, I mean, we usually would have gone to my parents. You know, they would have had a barbecue of some sort, some seafood, some meat. But growing up as a kid, it was pasta, lasagna. Was there a bit of vino there? It was just everything. You know, steak, salads, vegetables. But being Italian, it's all pasta. Everything's pasta. Lasagna. Yeah.
Makes sense. I don't think Tom's even listening to your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Probably
is that,
not.
Tom? What is that? Blood?
Yes.
Tell us it's blood.
No,
All
it's
right,
not.
good. That's what I'm talking about.
Coca-Cola.
Carnivore wine.
Carnivore wine. That is
Fresh
carnivore
cat's
wine
blood.
blood. All right. What? Oh, says the person that eats raw. Great.
Cat's blood, though?
It's lamb's blood. It's Easter.
Okay, lamb's blood. I could get into that.
All right.
I could get into that.
Good.
All right, on to Ray. What'd you eat? What'd you used to eat? How do what's going on at your house?
Yeah, so we went to family. We had lamb. Yeah, obviously that's all I had.
You left the house for Easter?
You didn't get arrested?
They're apparently not doing that yet here. So yeah, I left the house, went family dinner. So I mean, turned out good. I just had lamb. That's it. Nothing special. When I got back home, though, I was ready for another ribeye. So I ate 2 more ribeyes when I got home.
So how was the lamb prepared?
A little too well done, if you ask me. Hopefully none of my family's gonna watch this. But it was cooked a little too long in the oven, so it was a little bit dry. But I mean,
It happens.
I actually brought my ribeye just in case that they didn't have enough.
Mhm.
But she was like, no. We have plenty of lamb. Make sure you eat it. So I ate about almost a couple pounds. So
I like that they supported you.
oh, they get to eat whatever they want. They had their potatoes, their
I'm just saying, I'm
else.
glad that they made sure that you had lamb.
Yeah, they know that's my requirement. So you're right. So that was nice of them, and nice of them that they didn't mix it too. So yeah, so it worked out well.
So was it like roasted? Was it in a stew? Was it a rack? Was it chops? Was it ribs? What was it?
Baked. Yeah, baked in the oven.
With shank?
It was leg lamb. Yeah.
Leg of lamb. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mint jelly?
Pretty good. There wasn't. I wish there was a little bit of extra jelly on there, but no.
No.
Oh, mint jelly. No, yuck. Ugh, I would hate that if they did that.
You don't like mint jelly with lamb?
No.
It's so good.
What about tomato sauce? Like tomato sauce with your lamb?
No. They did a little rosemary on there, but I would have been fine with just salt, to tell you the truth. So, like I said, when I got home, I ate another couple of ribeyes, so I'm good from there. So yesterday, I actually broke my raw fast. So
by eating cooked lamb?
Yeah. No, by eating cooked ribeye.
Oh.
So yeah.
It was ramen.
And then well, I mean holidays, I figure I'll break it, whatever. And not only that, some of my ribeye steaks were going bad, so I was like, all right, it's time to start. So I'm going to probably, well, actually tomorrow I put it in the freezer so that way it'll last longer. I'll probably do another 60-hour fast and then go back to my alternate days again. So,
60-day fast, or you can get a
60-hour
alternate
fast.
60-hour.
Then go to alternate. Yeah, 60.
Jeez, that's ambitious.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's starting Ramadan.
That's it, Ramadan. That's right.
So, what kind of, when you were a kid, what kind of candy or lollies or chocolate Easter bunnies or,
you guys ever seen that rabbit?
Haitian truffles, whatever it was.
That's made in that chocolate? Yeah, I used to.
No, I've never seen one of those.
The form, yeah.
Whatever that's called, yeah.
The solid one. The solid one, not the hollow one. I would get, I'd feel like I was gypped
solid
if I got the.
Oh, I always got the hollow one.
Only the princess would have a solid rabbit.
Yeah. I demanded it. I demanded it.
I can see that. I ate a few of those, and I was so bad off that I couldn't even care if there was wrapper. So I would bite into the wrapper because I hated the wrapper, and then I'd spit it out. I'd spit it out the wrapper.
That's so gross.
Yeah.
Like
Or
a
shit it out. Or shit
Neanderthal,
it
like,
out.
Yeah, right.
I
Or
might
shit it
guess
out.
that you perhaps ate a little of that wrapper, perhaps a little bit of foil, and maybe that contributed to your GI distress later on in life.
Don't know, but apparently I didn't care. Yeah, that could have something to do with it, or a lot of other things. Hey, let's not forget about the sugar. All right, jeez. So, what was the other thing? Yeah, so every Easter, this is when I'm married with my wife. So they always had this big bread, Easter bread. Very beautiful looking. Oh man, I would tear up that bread. I would not stop eating that bread. So it was that with butter, and I just go at it until it was run out and ask for more. So, and my mother-in-law made some of the best bread. Actually, that was one of the
sweet bread or just
kind of like a
bread?
little sweet bread. Yeah, that's right. It's a little sweet bread. It's kind of very crunchy on the top. So, and it had that odor. I remember probably would hate it now, but I loved it back then. That smell of fresh baked bread. She made it out of scratch, so not that means anything. It's still poison, but anyways.
Well, I mean, you make it fresh at home. It doesn't have the preservatives in it that it does when it sits on the grocery store shelf.
Still poison.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I never realized how addicted I was to that. So, and that's exactly what I said back then, actually, Tom. I was like, oh no, this is homemade. This is the best of the best. I should be able to have as much as I want.
Right.
And I did. So.
Yeah, I know somebody who bakes their own bread at home, goes to great lengths to get all this great organic grain, all this, kind of heirloom grain and stuff to make, wholesome bread for her family. She puts a lot of effort into it, takes a lot of pride in it. And I'm like, may not be as good for you as you think it is. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just saying. Yep. All of that work, and it's, yeah.
No, she's a really nice lady too, and I mean, she really puts her heart and soul into it for her family. And knowing what I know now, I'm like, God, we've been sold a bill of goods,
We have.
I mean, it's easy to blame pollution or preservatives or whatever. TV is making us sick. Now it's 5G is making us sick. So it's easy to blame all those things. Oh, genetics is another one that comes up. But
right.
All right. So, Emster.
What?
Tell us what you had for Easter dinner and what you had, what Easter used to be like, right?
This is all I eat. All day, every day, no matter what holiday. Nothing.
Wait, don't you have some ground too? Sometimes? Can you get some ground from the farm?
Sometimes.
Okay.
But I prefer and I respond best to just the regenerative steak. And it could be any kind of steak now. I used to just do ribeyes whenever I would have the store-bought, like the grocery store stuff, because that had the most fat on it. And now, since I buy my fat separately, I can save money on the meat. And so I get like the really whatever cut, strip or sirloin or ribeye or round or whatever they have. And back in the day, before carnivore, my thing that I would make, that I would bring to our family gatherings, was Aunt Teresa's spoon rolls. And they were so good. Spoon rolls, yeah. So I would just make it in like muffin tins. And it was just like yeast and flour and whatever you make rolls out of. And I would make them from scratch. And there was something magical about these. And you would put like a big old like slab, like chunk slab of, like, you'd cut it open and then you put it in the butter in there, a slab of butter, and it would melt. And then you'd put it in a little basket with a little towel, and then you'd have it all warm, and then you'd put it on the table. It was just like this whole like.
Is it like croissant?
No, it's like a roll. Like they're called
an actual roll. Okay.
It's just bread, like a bread roll.
Right.
But there was like yeasty, salty flavor in it. And then when you have the butter, the salted butter in the middle of it melted, it was like magic.
Wow.
And yeah, it was so good. But now if I were to have that, it would probably wreck me, you know?
No question. How much did you eat when you did eat those?
I would usually make like 3 batches of rolls, and that way I could eat pretty much one whole batch myself, and then and then take the other 2 batches to the family and let them eat it. But I seriously, I couldn't stop. And then I would put it in the Ziploc bag for the next day, and I would just keep shoveling it in. Like I would just never stop. There was no stopping me.
Wow. Did you have candy too? Oh,
yeah, my candy of choice was the Hershey eggs that they're like tiny little, almost like M&Ms, in that they have the coating, the shell on the outside, but then they're solid chocolate on the inside, and they're like larger than M&Ms. But that's what I would have, and I mean I could eat like a whole bag myself. It was so good. So good.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of anything else.
What drinks did you drink? Oh, speaking of which, we do a strawberry sweet drink.
Tell me about that.
So my grandmother would do, my grandmother. My mother-in-law would have a strawberry garden almost every spring. So she'd gather them up, put them in like a liquid jam-like thing full of sugar. And so you'd pour it into like a jug, and you'd put a little bit of lemon, and then you'd add water, and then you stir it. Bam, strawberry juice. That was the bomb, but man, sweet.
Huh.
Yeah. But what's your drink?
Surprisingly, I was raised on unsweet tea and water. And so I have always drank unsweet tea and water.
Wow. Okay.
My whole life. And that's always what was just offered, because that's just what we drank. I was never a soda person. My family were never soda people. So that's just what we had.
Is there a certain alcohol for Easter?
I don't. My family.
Wine? Is it wine?
Drink.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know.
Yeah, wine. More wine is sold for Easter than any other day in the United States, anyways.
Is that right?
For real?
Or it was. I had a friend who would work for a distributor, and he was telling me that Easter is their biggest weekend. A lot of people buy wine that don't normally buy wine. But I think.
Zippo. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask Zippo about their drinking tradition over Easter. What's that over there? Or is there one?
Yeah, it would be wine.
It is wine also? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people would be buying wine. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you guys ever have talk about candy, remember the chocolate bunnies that were filled with M&Ms in them? Did you ever get them?
No.
M&Ms?
I don't remember that. No.
Sounds cool.
We used to get them over here. So you'd break them open. They were hollow. You'd break them open. It'd be full of M&Ms in there.
No way.
Bet it was a chocolate bunny with the M&Ms inside?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Never heard that. That's kind of cool, actually.
It's crazy. I can't believe that wasn't everywhere. Shit.
I know, right? It's a great idea.
Yeah, you guys didn't have it.
I mean, I'm sure they have it somewhere. I just didn't cross my path as a child.
Same. Never seen it.
But I do, whenever I bite into my frozen fat now, when I bite into it, it reminds me of the same consistency of whenever I would bite into the solid chocolate bunny. Because it's got that like waxy feel.
Maybe that's why chocolate's prepared the way it is, because it reminds biting into something fatty, you know?
Maybe.
You know, the people of, the Americas ate cocoa for hundreds of years and never sweetened it. They drank it mostly as a bitter drink. It was pretty much, I think, the Portuguese kind of cornered the market of bringing cocoa to like Europe and sweetening it, but adding sugar to it. And that's kind of like where it began in the beginning. Are you disagreeing, Joe?
No, I was agreeing. I was just saying it's amazing how we ruin everything.
Yeah, with sugar.
Add sugar
That's
to
why I'm
it.
shaking my
Add
head.
sugar.
Yeah, just get it done. Just add sugar to it. Add sugar to everything.
Sugar.
Sugar.
So let
What
me hit
about
up.
you, Justin?
Yeah,
Oh,
let
go
me hit
ahead.
up Justin. Justin, what's going on with you? What'd you eat for
Yeah.
Easter?
So,
I don't know what it's doing.
sorry, there's a delay. My internet's messing up. Yeah, so for me today, I am eating some ground beef. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of cheese.
Nice.
Ground. Wait,
Everything.
what?
I don't know what is going on with this thing. There he goes. Sorry.
Are they like hamburger patties
Hold it up again.
Patties?
Yeah.
Hamburger
cheese on there?
with
Little
cheese?
Cheese. Oh, okay.
Some cheddar cheese. I had New York steak earlier, so that was good. I'm
favorite.
happy I don't have to eat the peeps anymore. I hated those. I was never a big fan of peeps.
Oh, Peeps. Oh,
There's
I
two
remember
kinds of
Peeps.
people.
My
Yeah,
girlfriend
I never
still
liked it.
every time I go to the store, she buys a couple more boxes of Peeps and she just
Peeps. Oh
eats
no,
them.
horrible.
They
Eats
make
them
me
right out of the box.
sick.
Sick.
They
Yeah,
make
me too.
sick.
They're disgusting. But
And they made me sick before.
the joke is that
What is
you
it?
could eat, it's a
Peeps?
little. It's like
Like
a
a marshmallowy.
like
and
a
it's shaped like a
marshmallow
little chick.
chicken.
Yeah, it looks like a chick.
And they're
yeah.
pink and yellow and blue and purple.
Yeah. Horror.
Okay.
God.
They're
It's just like
squishy.
it's like a marshmallow with kind of a dry, harder exterior, and they're usually painted purple or yellow.
And it's like sugar on the
And
outside.
they're real spongy.
Right.
And the joke was that you could use them to get the ring out of your bathtub or your sink. Scrub it away, and Pete would take it off.
I never heard that.
Now you have. All right, Justin. Didn't mean to interrupt. Hit us with some facts.
Right. I knew when I brought up Peeps, it was going to cause a ruckus. So I'm glad nobody here
Hey
liked
Joe,
them.
this is what it looks like. These things.
Oh God.
Oh, they're so gross.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, that makes me want to throw up just looking at it.
I know. I never liked them.
I never liked it. I think I had like a half one time, and I was like, why are we buying these? Like, who's eating? There are people though that just absolutely love them, and it's like,
Just shovel.
you're crazy.
My girlfriend
I can't wait for
loves them.
Easter.
She's crazy about them.
Have you ever looked at the ingredients? There's like 100 ingredients on
Oh my
it.
God, it's a freaking it's a chemical factory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You wouldn't think you need much to keep all that sugar fresh.
Right.
Gross.
So yeah, I mean, I'm a weird kid. I mean, I'm a weird adult too, but like I was never big on chocolate and sugar. I always liked the like sour like candies instead of the sweet candies. So like Warheads were always like my go-to.
Oh wow.
And there's no like special Easter Warheads or whatever.
How
And
about
then,
a
like-
Jolly Rancher? Do you ever try to yank a molar
Ooh, I
out
do
with
like-
a Jolly Rancher?
Do you like Jolly Ranchers? I did like Jolly Ranchers. The grape, the cherry, those are the best flavors. And the apple, the green apple.
How about an Abba Zaba? Not
Never heard of
No, I
sour.
don't think I ate those.
Hmm.
No, you're an old man. I didn't eat
Hey,
that.
they
Sorry.
still make them. Young man.
And then I think the only Easter one I liked was, didn't M&M's have like a mini M&M Easter thing? They're all pastel colored and stuff like that. Something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, that's what I
It was like
remember
in a,
liking
like
that
a quarters.
1 year.
It was almost like a quarters container.
Yeah, like a tube.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to
Yeah.
see him at the check stands.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I think I like that. And then getting the egg, like doing the Easter egg hunt, but the egg with money. That was my thing. Like I always tried to find that one that like had the dollar bill or the quarters in it.
Oh,
Like I never
didn't know
cared
there was
about the
one.
candy.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
no, like when you do Easter egg hunt with the family, they have the fake plastic eggs or
Yeah.
whatever. you know.
Right. Yeah.
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 So some of my family would fill them with money. And I think I remember like one time, I don't know, like an uncle or someone like filled one with like a 10, and we all like tried to rip each other apart looking
Trying
for
to get that.
the egg with like the $10 bill. Yeah,
That's funny.
it was pretty funny.
It was a frenzy. Egg
But
hunting
yeah.
frenzy.
This one I just so because it is the quarantine, they had the Gothica music festival online, and that was fun. Thank you, Gothic Cat. That was a good time. Going over that, got some new music. It's really cool. Go check out the channel. Go check out the festival. It's really nice. It's fun. That's what I did. I listened to goth devil music today on Easter.
On Easter, there you go. Wow. Went there. Went there.
Yeah. That's what I did. That's what I'm doing.
So what did you used to eat like traditionally? Like what were some of your Easter meals?
I'm trying to remember. I mean, it was probably like pizza or like
Pizza.
I don't know. I don't think we had like a traditional thing. Like
Oh.
I can't remember anything traditional.
You didn't have a traditional meat? Like, what is a traditional meat for Easter?
Ham.
Ham,
That's what I
lamb,
thought, yeah. Lamb.
prime rib.
That's why we had lamb today, because of that. Okay. What
Yeah.
about you, Zippo? What's the traditional meats over there?
Well, it's definitely not ham. Ham for us is more over Christmas.
Christmas, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, because it's summer over here. Yeah, I don't know. Rabbit. I don't
Really?
know.
Rabbit? You guys have rabbit?
Rabbit. No, I'm just kidding. We
Okay.
eat rabbit. We got rabbit over here, but yeah.
Kangaroo?
No, definitely not kangaroo. I don't know. Just any type of meat, I guess. Actually, it's probably more seafood for us here. Easter is more seafood.
Okay.
Yeah, we go crazy for seafood over here.
Okay.
So
like
prawns, oysters, calamari or squid.
Can we insert our joke about throwing a shrimp on the Barbie here?
a shrimp on the Barbie. Very good. Shrimp on the Barbie.
Oh, Paul Hogan.
Good old Paul Hogan.
Yeah.
I don't know why this thing isn't switching. Sorry.
What are you trying to do?
What are you trying to do? Show us something?
No, the screen. I don't know if you guys. It stayed on Justin even though Zumbo was talking. I don't know. Maybe you guys see it different than I do.
Yeah, I see it different.
Yeah, all I see is all of us in the equal squares
Yeah.
or rectangles.
Mm.
Mm.
All right. Well, it's my turn to talk about Easter, so you guys clam up, why don't you? Got enough of your stuff. So, anyways, Easter was, was family usually got together for a big dinner somewhere, and it's usually something like ham and prime rib or something like that. In the morning, I think on my mom's side of the family, they traditionally had these things called hot cross buns, and they're like a sweet bread with like a cross, like a Christian cross on each one, with like some kind of like frosting, like is that the right word, frosting? So decoration, and they oftentimes had, I think, some kind of candied fruit in them, which was just god awful. I hated that, so I tried to avoid them, or I tried to nibble on the bread around it, get rid of that. I never liked that candied fruit. It's disgusting. But and then we often did get like an Easter basket. That was a tradition. It had usually candies in it. A chocolate Easter bunny and then chocolate eggs or something. And I do remember getting sick from that one year. Like, eating some Easter candy, and just I got really sick. Like I had the flu for like a couple days. And, interestingly enough, I was sitting around talking with some friends, and they were talking about like, they come home from high school, you play whatever sport in high school, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, here. You might be on water polo or whatever. But they're like, oh, yeah, there's times I'd come home for practice and I'd be really hungry. I could eat an entire bag of chocolate chip cookies, like a Chips Ahoy or something. I remember it's going, there's no way I could do that. And I often wondered if that's like the thing that is like a clue as to why people respond differently to excess carbohydrates. Is like, one person who can eat an entire package of Chips Ahoy and not throw up manifests a different result from excessive carbohydrates than somebody like myself who like will get sick from eating too much. But you know, like for me, maybe it's weight gain, and somebody else it's heart disease or, you know, whatever.
Mental illness.
Mental illness, yeah. So, but yeah, so there's lots of candy, and you know, it's kind of like it's not, you know, New Year's wasn't that long ago, and there's candy and junk food for New Year's, and Christmas is right before that. Halloween's right before that.
Well, you know, there's Valentine's and St.
Valentine's
Patty's Day,
St.
and then
Patty's Day.
yeah, I mean, gosh,
The holidays really help inject a lot of sugar into
that's what it's made for. It seems.
our diets. And then you have stuff lying around. You know, people give you, like here in Southern California, C's candy is pretty popular. So if anybody's seen that old I Love Lucy episode where she works in the candy factory and she can't keep up, that was, you know, that was the C's candy factory. It was like so people give boxes of those as gifts in the holidays. So that stuff could be sitting around for a long time. Even businesses, they give boxes of that away as gifts. You know, it's a common thing. Of course, Valentine's Day, you get the big heart-shaped boxes of candy and give them away. And
You mean heart-shaped pizza?
there could be that too.
Heart-shaped pizza. Wow. Did you really?
Yeah, one time.
Pizzas? Wow. That's funny.
When I had a girlfriend, one Valentine's Day, we got the heart-shaped pizza from Papa John's.
Oh, how
And
romantic.
we ate that and listened to Rob Zombie. So
There you go.
And I'm shocked that you're single.
Right. I'd love to see how he does it on a carnivore. Heart-shaped ribeye. I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking,
Heart-shaped ribeye.
speaking of Rob Zombie, did I tell my story about the day I was in line behind Rob Zombie at Trader Joe's?
No.
So I'm behind this guy, and he's not very tall, to be honest with you. And he's got this long, crazy hair, and he's wearing a raggedy T-shirt. And we're in this line, and in Trader Joe's is small stores, you know, they're kind of known for like health food and high quality stuff, you know. And their lines usually move pretty quick, you know. And he turns around, he's like, "God, what's the holdup up there?" And I'm like, "I don't know." I said, "We picked the wrong line today, you know, we're kidding around, you know." And so I get up there to pay, and I've been to a couple of Rob Zombie concerts, so I should know who he is. But I had no idea I was talking to Rob Zombie until I get to the check stand, and like, "Did you know who that was?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "That's Rob Zombie. He comes in here all the time." I was like, "Oh no,
Crazy.
So
Crazy.
Wow.
You didn't even know.
I had no idea, and he was gone
Man.
before. I mean,
And
as
you
soon as I
chatted
said
with him,
something, I was
too.
like, "What are we still there? What kind of
I know,
conversation?"
trying to chase him. You know?
But yeah, no, I had no idea. So, but today I came off a about 39-hour fast. I had a ribeye for breakfast. Didn't even finish it. I cooked this one because, like, you know, I'm like, you know, I think it's practical. It's like when the stuff's really fresh, I eat it raw, and then when it's not really fresh, I cook it. You know, and I gotta say, I had bought some chuck steak because, you know, when you go to the store, you can't just get what you want all the time right now. And they had some beautiful looking chuck steaks, and I bought them, and it rivaled probably just about any rib I had eaten. I couldn't
Wow.
believe how tender it was. I cooked it because it's, you know, it was in the fridge for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I can really show it to you all.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see it.
It's chopped and cooked right now, but it is extremely tender. Very fatty. It probably wasn't quite as, you know, like the ribeye, the fibers in the ribeye were a little looser and farther apart. This is a little denser, but it was equally as tender, if that makes any sense. You know, it's just fantastic. So, and this is some raw ribeye that I've been eating.
Is it like, is it frozen or is it just cold?
It's just out of the fridge. Yeah.
It's cold.
Nice.
I haven't tried the frozen yet, but I will.
I love it. It's
So,
like a meat popsicle.
and you know, in my household is kind of weird right now. My nephew Carlos lives with us, who I hardly ever see. He's like a ghost. And then my girlfriend's oldest son, Steven, lives with us. And we kind of all do our own thing. We all kind of have different schedules. But I told him, hey, let's have some wine and cheese later. So I cut up a big block of cheddar, nice extra sharp
Yeah.
aged cheddar. I told him, let's have some wine with that. So I cracked a couple
wine?
bottles, and I'm decanting it, making sure it's properly aerated.
Right.
So it gets a chance to breathe, making sure that when they get to it, it's just about right.
How's that
Nice.
wine affect you?
I don't really notice anything.
Even the next day?
How many bottles are we talking about?
No, I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
It has sugar in it.
Yeah, it has sugar in it. It's not like dry
I will
wine,
dig up the stats. I actually, even before I was carnivore, I not only did a bunch of research on how much sugar was in wine, I actually tested all kinds of wine. And I tested all kinds of wine, like everyday wine. In fact, it's in the ketogenic fasting project. I'll bring up the data for you guys. But I actually use an optical instrument that you could buy, and it will tell you. And I couldn't believe when I looked up how much sugar was supposed to be in these wines, and I measured it myself, it was spot on almost every time. And a lot of your tart red wines are very low in sugar.
So what about white wine? Is white wine truly dry white wine? Because there's a lot of carnivores that say that might be a better choice than the red wine. Okay, so that is true. Typically, a lot of white wines are sweeter. A lot of white wines, red wines spend more time in the cask. They have to age longer. And that's typically why they're more expensive. But at that time, more sugar can be converted to other things as well. And typically, most of your red wines tend to be more tart for that reason. And most people would gravitate towards red wines like a drier wine that tastes less sweet. But you can have very, very low sugar white wines as well. So, and you can have very sweet white wines, right? There's a big difference between like a Pinot Grigio and Gewürztraminer or something like that, So, and then you could get sweet reds. What's that?
Why is Moscato gluten-free versus the other white wines? Do you know?
Why is it gluten-free?
Yeah, they say Moscato is gluten-free because that's like the wine I would drink when I was like gluten-free, dairy-free was Moscato. And I learned that from one of my sister's friends that was celiac, and the only wine she could drink was Moscato.
It is possible that they add gluten to wines. There are a whole bunch of things that they don't even have to put on the label. That can be in wines that are traditional wine ingredients. So like almost all the wine we drink is blended. So depending on seasons and weather conditions and harvest, they buy up grapes from different areas and blend them together to reproduce last year's flavor. They add water, they could add sugar, they could add sulfides, maybe they add gluten. I don't know. That's a new one on me. I'll have to check that out. But Moscatos tend to be very sweet, have a lot of sugar typically.
Yeah, I've never heard them add, I've never heard of it, them adding gluten to wine, but I know they do add egg whites to wine.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you look at, I can't remember the reason why, but I remember if you looked at the back of a bottle, it would say may contain traces of egg white. So it must be a filtration thing or whatever.
Maybe they use eggshells for something.
So they say that when they age the wine, the oak barrel's sealed with wheat paste. It may add a tiny trace amount of gluten. Interesting.
Wheat paste. That just sounds gross.
I know, right?
So, yeah, it sounds like a sealer. Yeah.
Sealer.
Yeah. So what variety of grape, what kind of wine are you drinking there, Tom?
This is a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
A California red, because if it's not California, it's crap, of course. All Scottish.
Excuse me.
I used to have some really good Australian wine.
I've drank lots of.
My wife really likes Australian wine.
I've drank lots of Australian wines. And in fact, if you guys like wines, if you haven't seen the movie Bottle Shock, you gotta watch the movie Bottle Shock. It's got Alan Rickman in it, Professor Snape's, and Pullman. What's his name? Bill Pullman. It's a great movie. If you want to learn about wine and just realize that California really is the greatest wine region in the world. Watch that movie. I'm just
After South Australia.
well.
So we got some of the best wineries. We got some of the best wineries there. Actually, I'll throw one out to you. So I've got a friend of mine who's a wine collector. He's got 4,000 bottles of wine in his cellar.
Oh my God.
4,000.
And I can imagine some of them are really high dollar ones, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's got a bottle of Penfold Grange from 1969, I think it is.
Wow.
Yeah. And he got that tested by the Penfolds clinic, and it's still perfect. The wine.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so Zippo, are you a wine connoisseur being a chef? You kind of have to be, right? Is that part of the job or no?
I used to, like, before I got into carnivore, or before I got into keto, I used to love wine, red wine especially. I mean, I'd have a glass of wine, maybe 2 glasses. I used to collect wine at once upon a time. My favorite is Shiraz.
Yeah, we say Shiraz.
Shiraz.
There's a lot of Shiraz. A lot of Shiraz in California.
Yeah. So I just like that full-bodied wine, and we've got some really, really good winemakers here in Australia, mostly in South Australia.
That is one of the things I like about Australian wine. It's a lot of flavor, real bold flavors coming out of Australia. I give you that because, growing up here, we eat a lot of spicy food. We eat a lot of, I grew up eating food with a lot of seasonings on it and stuff like that, spicy foods and stuff like that. And, a lot of wines just don't hold up to that. You can't tell you're drinking them. You want something bold to go with it,
We're killing our carnivore card here.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're making this huge case to not go carnivore.
It's Easter. Right? He ate cake and cookies and ice cream. I'm having some wine today.
Hey, guys, we could sit here and lie about it, but we're keeping it real, and people like to hear that. It's
true.
And I think it's a good balance because I feel so such an extreme with the way I just eat raw.
You don't have a choice.
Steak. I always say don't follow me. You know what I mean? I think it's important to have the whole picture of the spectrum of carnivore, that I'm on one end of it, but that's just because I'm sick,
Well, and there's a lot of people out there that say, well, I'm 90% carnivore. I mean, I have a salad once a week or something. And it's I don't really think if they're healthy and meeting their goals and everything, I don't think it's fair to say, oh, you're not a carnivore.
Yeah.
You have to be 100%. I think it's, and I've heard people say, oh, you can't put seasonings other than salt on. And then it's well, who's saying salt is carnivore, right? Just because it didn't come from a plant, it's a mineral.
Right.
So all minerals are okay, and you can't put pepper on your steak if you like pepper. I mean, that's just dumb, right? To me. I mean, if pepper, affects you.
I can have pepper, Tom. Thank you for relieving me.
I know, right?
Mustard, not mustard.
Wait,
just
so big thing. Carnivore is not a religion. Not like veganism. Veganism, you just, I guess if you eat whatever they don't like you to eat, then you're off that scale. But no, I mean, carnivore, that's your style. Whatever your style is, that makes you carnivore. So, I mean, Zach Bitter, he's definitely, I would consider a carnivore, but he's not 100%. I mean, and really and honestly, he's 100% only when he's recovering. So,
he's superhuman,
for example, and he's superhuman. Exactly. Yeah. He's got everything he needs. So,
he's an awe-inspiring individual for sure.
That's how I see it. Yeah, he's an outlier. Yeah. So.
Yep. And I find it, I think wine, like I said, is very popular for Easter, and we didn't do a lot of special stuff for Easter here at home. There was no big table, nobody rolled out the china, there was no prime rib, there was no ham, and it's the family, the family that lives in this house is kind of a hodgepodge family, and it's
right. Those are the best kind.
Kind of all from slightly different traditions, as far as Easter. And it's well, what are we going to do, to celebrate Easter? And It's interesting because you think, why is ham so common for Easter? I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of a weird thing, because Easter is sort of a religious holiday. The whole Easter egg thing, a lot of these symbols come down from older traditions, like the Easter egg. The Easter egg is really a descendant of the world egg. There's this religions that think that the universe originally came from the world egg, and then ham. I mean, Easter's kind of starts with a Jewish tradition, and they don't eat
pork.
They don't eat ham. So,
Right.
but is it just Gentiles eat ham, or did ham become popular just because it was affordable? So you're gonna feed a big family, and that's what you could afford. It's all that strangeness. And then where did chocolate Easter bunnies become Easter? I don't know. Cadbury eggs. Anybody had a Cadbury
Yeah, because I
egg?
can understand the lamb part because of the
Blood of
Christ.
the lamb.
Yeah,
lamb.
lamb makes more sense.
I get that you don't see any chocolate covered lamb. So
Yeah, I don't know. Why don't
That
they
would
do
be
little
too
chocolate
weird.
lambs?
that would be too weird, right? I know. Instead, Easter bunnies laying eggs. That's not weird at all, right?
Yeah, Easter bunnies laying eggs isn't weird, but eating a lamb is.
Eating a
Chocolate
lamb, right?
Maybe once we get our bologna factory and our work from home pajama factory, after we need a chocolate lamb factory.
Yeah, you guys heard about
Can we do a meat-based chocolate lamb?
Hey, what a good idea. Oh, look at that. My mother-in-law actually makes a meat cake that's pretty bombastic. So she uses fat and and shredded meat.
Ooh.
And yeah, she puts it, I mean, it looks like a cake. She slices it up like a cake, everything.
Does it have a crust?
No.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I
actually
that sounds
like it a
like
lot.
a carnivore bar and a pie.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's actually, I always keep telling her, hey, for my birthday, make a meat cake. So sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. So
hey,
maybe I should take a picture of it.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Maybe I should find out how she does it. That's a good idea.
I would love that.
And I often wonder, we never know, if biblical texts really reach us in their original form because they've been lost and recopied and reculminated so many times. I wonder if Jesus was sitting at the Last Supper and in the beginning it wasn't bread. He's like, eat some of this lamb. It's my body. Would that make more sense?
It's my body.
Rather than bread. Yeah. So
Have a
Would
pizza.
make more sense.
Hey, have some ribeye. This is my body. Eat
There you
Real
go.
blood.
Drink some Cabernet.
Drink some real blood. That's right. The wine, you could have some blood for real.
Just saying, maybe it was the Last Supper was actually carnivore. They just don't want us to know.
So funny story. So there was one time that I was, I would every now and then the blood in the roast, I would drain it and put it in a cup and drink it. And my father-in-law was really big into wine, so he thought I was having wine, so he wanted to try it. And I was joking with him, saying, "Yeah, cheers." And he wanted to taste my wine, and and the look on his face, it was horrible. I know.
Oh my gosh!
He was
Especially if you're expecting wine. And you
Right.
Was it really salty?
So, no, it's actually good. I really enjoy blood. It's really nice. I wish I could find it somewhere.
I would like to try some.
Yeah, the Chinese.
You guys would enjoy it. Yeah.
Thank
you. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Pig blood. See, I don't want pig blood. I want beef blood.
It just reminds me of Carrie.
So yeah.
The calf blood.
Pig blood.
I think the calf blood's the best, but
yeah. I mean, I shouldn't be.
The pig blood. The pig blood's pretty close. And actually, the weird thing is the pig brains probably taste the best raw. I don't know.
I've never tried pig brains. I've never tried any brains.
The fresh cow brains are really good. The pig brains might be a little better. The sheep brains, the only ones I ever get are frozen from Australia, and I never really liked them raw or cooked. They're just okay. So I don't know. I've never had any local. What?
Because they've been frozen.
Probably.
Not fresh.
That's right. Because coming over here, I can see that. Yeah.
The cow brains
have to be frozen.
Hard to get. I think because they shoot the cows in the head with that captured bolt gun.
Bolt gun.
Then they have to cut the skull open, and then they have to pick out the good parts of the brain that haven't been contaminated by the bolt gun. So
Right.
something like that. So they're kind of hard to get. So it's a pain in the ass, but somehow the pig brain, and I think the pigs and the lambs, a lot of times they're dispatched another way. So the brains are intact for some reason. So I think especially the kosher ones are, they still slit them. So anyways, so anybody have any other fantastic Easter knowledge to put down for the people out there?
No, just that Jesus is risen.
From the Bible Belt, she speaks.
From the Bible Belt.
From the Bible Belt.
Well, we have to counteract all that, blasphemy we spoke for the last
Yes.
hour. So
Yes.
a little bit.
Jesus is risen, and I want to drink lamb's blood.
Lamb's blood. There you go.
There you go.
Just wait for our Halloween stream, people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up then, since we're winding down, and we all got a chance to speak about what we were doing. It wasn't as much eating on camera as I'd hoped, but I appreciate the effort.
I did. Ish.
And some of us are fasting. That's all right. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Leave us some comments. Subscribe to the channel. Maybe pass the link on to people who will help. And I hope everybody had a really good Easter. And I hope everybody's not getting cabin fever from being locked in from COVID-19 scare. But anyways, thanks for watching. Eat some meat and feel better, everybody. And don't
fall
subscribe.
down the carb hole.
Don't fall down the carb hole. Subscribe, like. All right.